Three, two, one.
Welcome to another episode of Relics Radio. This is a family-friendly show, so the entire family can join us as we talk metal detecting, relic, and treasure hunting. You can also call into the show at 270-495-0315 or join in the chat and post any comments or questions you might have. Relics Radio is available live on the Spreaker app, but it's also archived wherever you get your podcast. You're listening to Relics Radio.
Hey, it's another Thursday night. DK here from Adventures in Dirt, joining you here on Relics Radio. I got some great people with me tonight. I tell you what, it is the Colorado Connection tonight. Two of my fellow Treasure Hunting Club members, two of my hunting buddies. I got Tony from 5280 Adventures on, and we got Jeff Lubbert from American Digger Magazine's Relic Roundup.
Yeah.
Wait, you guys are in Colorado too?
Hey.
No way.
Surprise. Yeah.
Small world.
Oh my gosh.
Small world.
What? Who would have thought? My gosh. We should all go digging sometime.
No, you know what that means? None of us have been out detecting is what that means.
That's exactly the truth.
My gosh.
We're snowed
How are you
in.
guys, man? How are you guys? How's your week been? Silence.
Work.
Silence.
No metal detecting to speak of, that's for sure.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
My
No,
gosh. It's warming up though, guys.
It was.
It is.
I know we
Getting
always
an
talk
itch.
about the weather, but man,
Getting the itch.
snow on my grass is almost gone in the front yard. I was like, oh man, and I had mounds. We talked about that last week. I have mounds, and it's like, yeah, it's all out of my gutters and stuff. It's man, that's nice. Walking around in a t-shirt today.
Really?
Well, not outside all day, just in and out of the office. I didn't mind putting my jacket on. I mean, it's been frigid, guys. Colorado has been. You're gonna step outside, you better get a coat on.
Yeah, today it was that way for sure. I mean, it was a little windy, and I think we had a high of 30 some odd degrees. So
Yeah.
not the best day we've had all week, but you know what?
That's
We're still heading the right direction. I think we're still thawing out, at least during the day.
Just barely past the first week of February, so
Can't
we're all
expect
right.
too much.
I want to say hi to Brad B in the chat. I'll tell you what, he's making me very, very jealous.
Oh,
75 in
you're
North
killing me,
Carolina.
Brad.
Not cool.
Come on, man.
Who let that guy in here? Can we?
Yeah. Tell us it's negative 30 in North Carolina today with the
I'm
wind chill and the ocean effect coming in. Something. Man. Who else is in the chat? Tony, who do you see join us here? We got some good people coming in.
Yeah, lots of people piling in already. We got Ohio Relic Hunter coming in saying evening. Hopefully, if you're out driving tonight there, Bill, you're being safe. Mr.
That's
Bill
right.
Hayes says hi.
Metal Sharks.
Metal Shark, yeah. Brad B, like you already mentioned. I saw, who else did I see up here?
Metal Diggers. But Barb's in early. How you doing, Barb?
Barb's in early, nice.
Barb's in here already?
Yeah.
I know, it's early.
She put down her art for a little while. And
Yeah.
tried to
Have
come
you
join
seen
us
that?
tonight.
Man,
oh my gosh.
she's posted
So
some
beautiful.
pictures this week.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Picasso.
Unbelievable.
You definitely do a good job there, Barb. Excellent. You should throw your link in the chat. Matter of fact, somebody wants to go check out your artwork. You should put that in the chat. And if
Absolutely.
you're listening on a replay, go down and look at that chat from Barb and go check out her stuff. That's great. Oh my gosh. So yeah, last week was a cool show. We got had Marilyn kind of talking about some controversial stuff, and then Yeah, this week I thought we'd just have an open mic to talk about there's all kinds of things going on, man. I saw a list today of events going on, and there's one very special event that we need to start talking about.
Yes,
you know which one I'm talking about, Jeff?
It just so happens that,
Well,
yes.
That's
a matter of fact,
right.
I think we do.
This week only.
Well, not this week only, but we
Sunday,
just
Sunday.
figured it out. Yeah. We actually, Eureka Treasure Hunters Club, which we're all 3 members of, is putting out on their national hunt again this year. Obviously, like a lot of clubs, we paused during COVID for a couple of years, but we're back at it. We had it last year, and you know what? We are set to do it again this year. So,
Yep. What's it called, Tony? What are we calling it this year?
We're going to call it the Stampede.
The Stampede.
The
Last year was
Stampede.
the Motherlode.
The Motherlode.
right?
Now we've got the Stampede.
This
I'm-
year's the
I'm-
Stampede.
I'm picking up a kind of a theme there, kind of Western,
Mm,
Rockies,
Colorado.
Colorado-ish. Yeah, the Stampede.
Plains. Yeah.
yeah.
I just threw it in the chat there. It sounds like, I mean, early numbers, but we're giving away 45 metal detectors, a brand new
least.
car,
Brand new
cou-
car. Yeah.
a couple ponies maybe.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeff's going to buy that
Well,
brand new
I-
car and give it away to everybody. He told me last
Well,
week.
exactly,
It's really
yeah.
cool.
Wasn't it a around the world cruise too? Something like
It
that?
was. Yeah, twice. I think it was a double whammy. 2 trips.
Well,
around.
one going the other.
What are you talking about? They're all leaving out of Colorado.
Yeah, we
The
just set
cruises
the
are all
date,
leaving from Colorado.
here in Denver, the place where we hold our Rush of the Rockies events. You have to wait to a certain day and then jump online and get your reservations in for this beautiful mountain park that we hold it in Conifer, Colorado. And we got the dates we wanted. So, what are the dates, Jeff?
You know what? They are set for July 7th through the 9th. So, you know what? It's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Right.
Basically, registration, kind of a meet and greet kind of thing going on Friday night. And then the
Yeah.
hunts, 5 hunts over the 2 days. 6 if you include the kids hunt. But, you know, it's 5 for adults. And, plus
All kinds of stuff.
kids stuff. Yeah. So it's going to be
So
fun.
stay at home, enjoy the 4th of July, and then get on the road and come out here and
Yeah.
see us in Colorado.
We're all
going
going to be there. I know
Yeah.
we will.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. And we're just teasing about the prizes. I'm sure if you guys remember last year, well, how many did we give away last year? We gave away 18 or
13?
19?
Was it
18 or 19?
18.
I thought it was 18 medals.
I thought it was
Yes.
13. Wow, I was way off.
No, it was 18 at least.
was
I thought it might
18.
be 19, but
Yeah.
it was a ridiculous amount and lots of other prizes. I gave away so many. I was the one giving away the prizes, right? I was the one
MC.
standing up there. I was the MC,
MC.
so I was giving away the prizes, and I got exhausted doing that job. We couldn't give them away fast enough. Like I remember looking down at the prize boxes and just going, we need to step this up,
Mhm.
because we're drawing names and stuff and giving stuff away. I go, I need 3 people helping me grab prizes and shove them at people. And we did. It was amazing. Plus the hunts were incredible. That park we're at up there, that mountain area, man, beautiful. Beautiful. Tony took some incredible drone footage of it. Did you see that? Jeff?
Yeah, that was so cool.
I'm going to, I was actually just pulling up a link right now. I'm going to throw it over in the chat to the video from the Motherlode last year. You guys check it out.
Yeah, it's
didn't
cool,
turn
man.
out,
Yeah.
Didn't turn out too bad.
It's not. And I think we probably want to talk to you about maybe putting together a promo for this year's hunt, using some of that footage and stuff,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
maybe
If
some
we
still
can.
pictures, flashing in some still pictures and stuff.
Now, you guys realize
What's that?
you got the club president online here right now. So
Well, that's right.
we can make
Jeff,
decisions right
did
here.
we bow?
Jeff's the new Eureka Treasure Hunters Club president this year for the next couple of years.
Sucker.
We forgot the bow when he came into the room here.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. No.
We got to
no
swing
bowing
some
required.
deals tonight. We got to swing some deals while we have them on the
That's
hook.
right. What can we commit him to?
Let me think.
Yeah, we're
How
gonna make some
about,
decisions. That's all we're saying.
Yeah.
I
We
will
need some
say,
organized dinners and lunches coming up soon.
I will say at the Motherlode, it was like Jeff said, 5 hunts, and you would do a hunt, you'd come back and relax for like 2 hours, and it was nonstop giveaways for 2 hours from Ken. I remember your voice was going hoarse by the end of
Yes.
the weekend because you were giving away so many different prizes, from metal detectors to panning sets to T-shirts to hats to water bottles. I mean, everything that you can imagine.
Yeah.
It was non-stop, and we're not trying to
Yeah.
overhype this up. It was absolutely insane. What an incredible
Yeah, there
event.
was gold nuggets and silver rounds
Yeah.
and all kinds of cool stuff. Digging shovels, digging knives, pouches. All
I
the
mean,
stuff you see at
we
these
had
events.
some, we had some cob coins that we gave away, and we had.
Yeah.
I walked away with one of those, so I was fortunate.
Yeah. What was it, like 16th century? Wasn't it like 1500s, or was it 1600s cob?
1600s.
1600s cob. Man, it was beautiful.
Well, we gave away two of them though. I just got the small one. Someone got the big one.
It was great. And yeah, so we're starting to put prizes together this year. We don't, we'll be announcing them as we get them in and stuff.
But
and
yeah,
looking for coins right now and stuff. Like, it's just the real initial stage for us.
Right.
But we have the dates. We can start talking about it.
These are all seated hunts. It's a modern area, but area that we're putting on the hunts in. There is some historic areas around where we do it. I mean, you go further down the valley, and there actually was, a train grade there from 1870s up through the 1920s, which is now the road. And I used to hunt down along that thing on a regular basis, just saying.
Yeah, if you're interested in like railroads or train cars, there's a whole railroad museum real close by. We usually get some passes for that we give away. There's mining, the mining district, or right there. Right below the mining district. So if you're interested in any of the mining towns, Blackhawk, Central City, you like gambling, it's 30 minutes
It's not
away.
far away.
It's right up the road. Yeah.
Yeah, you can go do a tour at the Phoenix or the Argo mine.
Oh yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, so there's some great stuff right there.
Right.
Great mountain pizzas right there too, man.
Ooh, now we're talking. Yep.
Ooh,
now we're talking.
There we go.
Now we're talking. Yeah, some great mountain like club, like what I want to say, like pubs with live music and stuff. I remember when we left last year, that first night, after everything got shut down, a number of us went to this mountain. I can't remember that little town that's right on the way home. And it's this little tiny rinky-dink town, and it's got this pub and eatery and all outdoor seating. People are just, having a great time. The weather was amazing. And we're out there having a beverage and eating some food. We had so much fun there at that place. Live music going on. It was great.
And I couldn't make it because I have season tickets for the National Lacrosse League, the Mammoth, which are here in town. And they were playing in the championship series that night, and I actually had to go watch the game. So I have tickets. So I this year, well, maybe I'll do. No, it should be late. It's later this year, so I won't be having to worry about that. So I can actually go out and enjoy a beverage as well.
Yeah, usually we have it in June, but we're doing it in July this year.
Yeah, and that's because of timing, reserving the park. Yeah, where we're having it, that gave us issues. So, but all seated hunts, nothing natural there. Although there can be natural stuff there because it is kind of an older area. But we've definitely reduced the hunt fields. Last year we had one that was a little bit big, and we reduced it considerably. So it's not going to be as bad as it was. So definitely up in the mountains at altitude though.
At altitude, definitely on a little bit of a pitch, but we've definitely ironed out those hunt fields. I was on the committee last year, so my ear was to the grindstone, and we were always looking for comments on how we can make it better each and every year. And I believe the only comment we got that was like a suggestion for improvement was to think about the hunt fields a little differently and maybe reduce the size of them. And we did. And so this year we made that adjustments, and you wait till we have some excellent hunt fields up in that park and got some great plans for putting some great hunts together. I tell you what, we've got, all kinds of stuff going on. I know that our plan right now is to do like some kind of Friday meet and greet on Friday. Right. And then start the hunting on Saturday, go through all day Saturday, and then also into Sunday. But other than that, we're working out all the details. We're working out all the costs right now and the deadlines for the early bird registration. I know there will be an early bird registration at some point for a certain date. And if you register before that, you get put into a special prize drawing for a special prize. It's usually something really, really good. And
last year I picked that out, and I so badly want to have that coin for myself.
Right.
But I was out buying stuff for the club, and I went to the coin show, and I found that the coin that we gave away, and I was like, if I wasn't doing that for the club at that point in time, It would
Yep.
be in my collection today, but
Hey,
we gave it away.
I will throw this out there. We have a lot of listeners out there that listen to the show, and we thank you very much for that. But if anybody's sitting on a large surplus of silver, you go ahead and reach out to me and get a hold of me. We'd love to talk to you and kind of see, what kind of deal we might be able to strike. That's the hardest part these days, right, guys? To get
Yeah.
There's so many events and so much silver wanting to be bought, and the prices are going crazy this year, or not even this year, but for the past couple of years.
Yeah. I wanted to just point out real quick, we were talking about Rush to the Rockies, and Mitch King popped in over in the chat.
Hey, Mitch, how are you?
I told him he's not invited this year, that he pretty much cleaned up last year way
Can
too
you
much.
imagine if he shows up and brings
No.
his machines?
No.
And
Not
actually
even.
If they actually show up this
airport?
time,
Man,
hey, Mitch, make sure you at least put one in your carry-on. Minimum of one.
What
if you
an
want to ship one to me
experience.
ahead of time, I'll give you my address. You can ship one out ahead of time.
Whatever. We're on video. How many machines have you got right there, Ken?
I got
Yeah.
too many.
Yeah,
Too
you've
many.
got enough.
That's a nice starter collection, is what that is.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
My
Nice.
wife thinks too much, of course, too many, but I'm like, yeah, I'm only using a couple of them right now.
You want to use me as an example?
Yeah, I do all the time, man. You are my go-to example for too many machines. But yeah, how many you sitting on these days? 30, what? 7? Somebody. Who was it? Was it Bill Hayes that told me he was sitting on a bunch, or was it Mr. Marsh? I forget. One of them was telling me that.
I don't remember which one. One of them did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mitch is going to dig stock. I wish I was going to dig stock. I don't
I'm
think
still
I'm
on the
gonna
debate
make
if I'm
it
going to
this
make it or not.
year. Yeah, when is dig stock? Dig stock
Late
is
in March, isn't it?
yeah, it's in March. We're going to be elsewhere in March
We are.
during that time. Sorry, man. We tried real hard to get you on with us, man. We really did. But
Yeah, I'm still
people-
available in case someone backs out. Just saying.
yeah, it just may happen. Okay, good. I'll keep that in mind. It may happen. You never know. But right now, and I've let them know that if that happens for some reason,
I could be an emergency fill-in
go to me.
as long as I have a
got
couple
somebody.
couple
Yeah.
weeks notice.
Well, we're only 4 weeks
Or-
away.
4 weeks.
All right, give me a week's notice.
I like that. Good adjustment.
I don't know, man. I don't think you should. I don't think you're going to like the airfares at this point. So
Well, I know. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
when we bought ours, they were double what they were when we first started looking at them.
Mhm.
It was ridiculous.
Dig stock event though. I think aren't they sold out for this upcoming event?
First year in North Carolina.
I think they're sold out already.
Yeah.
The only reason I can potentially go is because I'd be representing American Digger magazine. So
There we go. Yeah, they might be. I don't know. Tony, have you were up on their page at all?
Mm-mm. Let's see.
I was sad to see that Pete's not with those guys anymore. He kind of stepped away.
Pete
Taking a
did?
break. Yeah, taking a break.
Okay, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I saw that announcement. Matt put that out on the Dig Stock page.
Okay,
All right, looks like the event shirt sold out. The single event ticket is sold out. And that's all that I can see on the website. So it very well could be.
so yeah, I thought they sold out a couple months ago, but
Right.
since I wasn't for sure going to go, I haven't really been paying attention to it too much. But it is a good time.
Metal Digger
Yeah, well,
says
hey,
it is sold out.
It is. Okay. Yeah. Mark your calendars, July 7th through 9th, right here in Colorado this year. Rush to the Rockies 2023, the Stampede. We're doing it again. Now that COVID's over, man. We had last year. It was a blast, and we'll be doing it again this year.
This will be tough to beat last year.
It was an amazing event last
and
year.
perfect weather. Doesn't
Perfect
hurt.
weather.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was
A
perfect.
touch
weather.
warm for me.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit bigger guy, so I don't take the heat very well.
Yeah, look at that link Tony posted in the chat that he took at that event. And you just see perfect weather. It was just blue skies and
Mm-hmm.
mountain pine trees and all kinds of great
Yeah. Now we had
conifers and
Dwight from Natka Macro there, and
Yeah.
he absolutely fell in love with the site.
he did.
He was just raving about, can't believe you're in a site like this and you get to live here, and
Right.
just continuously talking, man. That guy's
Yeah.
1,000 miles an hour, 24/7.
Yeah. And he was blown away. He was blown away. Like in the evenings, he had to go explore. And I saw some of the pictures he posted.
Yeah.
Like he went down to Red Rocks. Like Red
Mhm.
Rocks is just God's country. It's so amazing there. And, he went up to Flatirons. He did a lot of exploring. And I was with him. He was on the phone with his wife, and he was just like, "We have got to come back to Colorado." And he goes, "If you guys do this next year, I'm basically telling Delic that I'm coming." So we've got to get all that arranged and stuff.
I think if he's not coming out with Nokta, then he might just come out on his own anyways.
He might.
I really believe that. Yeah.
Well, he enjoyed it that much. Honestly, I mean,
Mhm.
I think the club showed him a good time. We were as good as you can be to someone like that, and because that's our nature, and it's Dwight. He
Yep.
gets along with everybody. So
Yeah.
Something else I like to do. I've never been. I don't know if you've ever been, Jeff, but I just saw Tim Ildigger in the chat. He told me that he is heading to Germany for a week of detecting.
Ooh.
David Rose always told me,
Mhm.
and it showed me all the evidence of what detecting in Germany can be like. And man, I'd love
the
to
spot.
get back there, get over there for sure.
Now, here's my question: do they have any special laws like England does, where if it's over 300 years old, you have to turn it in? I would have to study it. I don't know anything about detecting in Germany.
Yeah, I don't know if they have an antiquity scheme like that or anything like that, but I think that there's more regulations as far as where you can and cannot detect. And pretty much you've got to be invited. There might be permitting involved. And I think that you can get in a lot more trouble there if you're detecting in the wrong place.
Well,
put it that way, right?
You can anywhere, right? If you're detecting in the wrong
Sure.
place, you can get in trouble, and probably will. But if you're going to go there, do your research, know what it takes, know what it requires.
Well, I'm telling you what, let's open the phone lines. And then if anybody wants to call in, like Tim or David Rose, give us a call.
Hint,
Yep.
hint.
Mitch King going another 2 weeks in England in September. Man, crazy. Well, hey, let's open the phone lines. Tell you what, you got two numbers to call tonight. Tony, why don't you give him our number? And then Jeff, I'll let you give him your number.
Yep. If you guys want to call in live for the show, you can reach us at 270-495-0315.
Or you can call in at 678-439-1863.
Yeah, give us a call. Love to put you on the air and chat with us.
Yeah,
we're going to be talking about all kinds of stuff tonight. I know we talked a lot about Rush to the Rockies, but
does your club have an event coming up?
Right. Let us know.
Bill Hayes.
Bill Hayes has got an event coming up.
Yep. No, that.
When's that one? That one is in August, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Tony?
What do we got? August 19th and 20th?
Is that it, or is it?
Is it? No, that's
it's actually down here.
Yeah,
19th and 20th in New Concord, Ohio.
Yeah, the 44th annual Buckeye Championship treasure hunt. That's a lot.
Now, if I remember right, they even did it during COVID. I mean, they were pretty hardcore about it.
Yeah. Well, it's Ohio. What do you think?
Yeah.
Best kept secret in metal detecting.
Here it is. OH. See? I had to throw that up there.
Yeah.
You can't see me. They don't have a camera on that computer.
There you go. Hey, Loy, welcome, bud. Well, good to see you. Everyone, Loy Milam in the house. Good to see you joining us tonight. We're just open mic night, having people call in. So don't answer your phone if it rings through.
Yeah, he's going to be answering everybody, huh?
He's going to call in, and we're going to dump the show probably. No, I'm teasing you. But we got a lot to talk about tonight. One of the I don't want to bring the show way down, but we did want to kind of mention and make sure we acknowledge some of the tragedy that's happened over in Turkey, in Syria.
Oh yeah, for sure.
With the earthquake.
Devastating.
Devastating.
How many now? What is it up to? What's the last number you guys heard?
I think they're still counting. It's so many. I know that they saw one news report about 21K. 21,000. Yeah, it's and it's like something happens here in the United States, and you don't even have to be directly affected by it. It could just be happening like I think I talked to Delic and she did say that she's fine and all the people at Nocta are fine because they're in Istanbul, which is about 1,200 miles away. But, just like here, that's like from here to Indiana. So you have family all over the country. You have family in New York when 9/11 happened. You have family, so it affects everyone just to think, that when some
may not be directly affected, but you either know someone, you have family there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So our thoughts are with them.
Jeez.
And I just can't even imagine what they're going through trying to find people and, deal with the stress of maybe not knowing where family members are and stuff, or not being able to hear from them.
Yeah.
Because infrastructures go down too, and phone lines and all that stuff. So just
roadways, the whole 9 yards.
terrible. But we're thinking about you. And,
Yeah. Yep.
Hope you guys get back to things, and after you get through it all. I know in '89 we had bad earthquake in California. I lived in Northern California, and in the San Francisco Bay Area we had this like 8.9. It was 7.2 maybe. It was during the World Series.
World Series, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yep.
And man, it just shook. I'll tell you what happened. It shook really bad. And then we were watching the World Series, and then I'll tell you what it did in our neighborhood. You were really good friends with your immediate neighbors, but as you moved out into the neighborhood, not so much. And I tell you what, our entire neighborhood, like hundreds of people all came together and were like listening to, because like we all lost our power. So people were like bringing their cars out, and we were all listening to news reports on the car, and people were making runs down to certain areas of our town that didn't lose power, like to Kentucky Fried Chicken, and they were just buying chicken for the whole neighborhood and bringing it back. And we were just, listening unbelievably to what was going on. And I remember, that was just a real terrible tragedy too. And my brother was involved with they had a big double-decker freeway system that collapsed on itself and buried a bunch of unsuspecting souls out there. And it was terrible. But he was involved with kind of digging all that out and stuff. And so, you always have somebody that's involved in some way. So terrible.
Unfathomable.
Yep.
But you know what? Hey, as far as digging stuff out, we want to talk with people that are actually digging stuff out of the ground. Because my gosh,
right.
Tony and Ken and myself are just sitting here, antsy as antsy can be. Frozen in still. We've been frozen in probably since December. My last actually true relic hunting trip was in, I think, early November to maybe mid-November. So I'm literally twitching. I'm not gonna lie.
I can only put so many coats of wax on the manicore. I need to get some use out of it.
Me too with the Legend, man. I've been doing air test after air test. I'm like, okay, let's see what single frequency sounds like. Let's see how far does single frequency go? How far does this frequency go? What happens with this many tones? What happens with this? What if I change
Mitch,
the tone
we don't
break
want to hear
this?
it.
I know.
We don't want to hear it out of you, Mitch.
Mitch is spamming the chat again. It's 85. He's down in Florida.
All right. Let's grab the Legend. Let's grab our manicores and head down to the Treasure Coast. Mitch will take us out.
And we knew anybody with a private plane. We just go get on it, and they just tool us down there real quick. How cool would that be?
That would be sweet.
Yeah. That would be really cool. Dave, I heard Dave Full Metal Digger, he's got a private plane. Come up here and pick us up. He's got a jet, like a Learjet. David, get in the Learjet. Come up here and see us. Pull us over to Florida.
just for a day.
Or if you don't have one, go buy one.
A weekend. Let's do it for a weekend.
Okay, all right.
One day you really don't get. Yeah.
When I went to South Beach last time I went on a vacation, I went to South Beach, and I didn't bring a detector with me.
Huh?
Yeah, I know. My wife was like,
is that possible?
Let's leave it at home. We don't have that much time. We're going on a cruise. And we came back from the cruise and spent a couple days on the beach. So, but I saw somebody detecting, and I was like, I'll be right back. And I even whispered to the guy, you got a spare one in the trunk? And he's like, nope. Pigeon Forge, 72 degrees. Yeah.
29 in Elizabeth, Colorado.
Man, 72 in Pigeon Forge, you can still get in the water, Loy.
Yeah.
I'm sure the water's down around, 40.
David Rose says the jet needs gas. Oh, man.
That's all right.
Always something. It's always something.
Dang. Tie a couple more pigeons onto the wings.
Yeah, right. But hey, let's there's some other events going on, and
What have we got here?
we've got quite a list going. We talked about dig stock, right?
Yep.
Yep.
We did talk about as well as that Treasure Coast Archaeological Society benefit hunt. Mitch was talking about that. I threw that up inside the chat.
In Sebastian, right? Yeah.
In Sebastian, Florida.
Gotcha. Gypsy's got one coming up. I think it's not too much.
She does. That's right.
Not much longer after dig stock.
Yeah.
So if it's sold out, if dig stock's sold out and you can't get in, head over to Gypsy's hunt up here in Texas.
And there also is the Garrett Memorial Hunt as well. Charles Garrett Memorial Hunt as well. So I'm actually going to that one. So
are you?
Yep.
Nice. In April.
That's in April. I think a few members from the club are going, right?
Yeah, I think right now there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 or 10, I think.
Nice.
That's kind of down. There's one of the years we actually had 16 members there detecting. So,
what do you think, Tony? Could we come home and tell our wives that we're
No.
going to turn right back around and head back out to Texas for a week?
oh, you could.
We could.
We could.
We could.
And in fact, if we did that, we probably would have a lot more time on our hands after we did that. As a
I got a
matter of fact.
3-bedroom house.
So
we should think about that.
actually, there's been a couple of things we looked at. Like, you know what? That's like the next weekend after we get back. We're probably not going to be able to make that one.
Yeah, darn it.
Doesn't fly too well.
But you know what? Hey, guys, you can give us a call. 678-439-1863. That'll get you in.
Yep.
Or you can call in.
Go ahead.
There you go. Go ahead.
270-495. That's 270-495-0315. And give us a call. We'd love to talk to you about anything. We're just chatting tonight. We got some treasure stories to talk about. We got and a few things kind of queued up that we can chat about. But we were talking about the Lost Dutchman's Mining Association.
Mm-hmm.
Also, they're doing a hunt in South Carolina. Oconee, right? Oconee.
I have
South
not heard
Carolina.
about that one yet.
Yeah.
It's
Tell me.
That's
March.
That's March 23rd to the 26th.
Yep. It's actually metal detector training and a hunt, and they're putting it on by the Lost Dutchman's Mining Association. It's going to be in South Carolina. I think they usually bring in they bring in Steven, right? They bring in Steven for that, and they bring in last time they brought in Daisy, and they brought them in to kind of help them do some training on some of the miners out there.
That's right.
And then if you want to go to Culpeper, tell you what, you want to play in the red dirt.
Yeah.
You want to play in the red dirt and the mineralized. There's actually a hunt there called the Relic Hunt at Liberty Hall, by the Liberty Hall Plantation at Culpeper, Virginia, March 25th. It's a one-day relic hunt at Liberty Hall, at the Liberty Hall Plantation at Culpeper.
That would be pretty sweet.
March 25th. Now, are you throwing links into the chat with all this stuff?
Yep, all
Tony?
the links in the chat here.
So everything we're talking
to get
about,
them.
Tony's putting a link in there. Yeah.
I'm looking at this Liberty Hall Plantation. Holy cow.
Yeah, amazing.
Oh,
Amazing
my gosh,
location.
I would love to. Yeah. Nice big red barn out there. It says they're going to do a one-day combination natural and seeded relic hunt. So
Wow.
Plantation was occupied by both CSA and U.S. forces during the war. There are 2 cannon emplacements on the property, probably from 1863, as well as a large U.S. camp presence in the winter of 1864. Sounds like a great hunt.
Yeah, you know who could fly us there? David Rose could fly us there.
That David Rose guy.
Yeah, he can get that jet full of gas. David, what do you think? You think you could fly us to?
We'll stop
fly
by
us over there to
Culpeper.
Culpeper on the way to Florida.
I wish I could, but I'm grounded by the FAA.
Again? Man, enough of that naked flying, man. You gotta stop doing that.
I know that the Mile High Detecting Club just keeps calling me.
Oh Lord!
But he always flies solo. Just saying.
My gosh. Hey, how are you, David?
I'm doing real well. How are you guys doing in that frozen Arctic wonderland of yours?
I think we're finally starting to thaw, man. I think we're starting to see some thaw. For sure.
That's me knocking on wood.
Knocking on wood.
There we go.
Yeah.
It's getting there, warming up a little
Yeah.
bit.
Hey,
we're
talking
hoping.
earlier. Go ahead.
What's that?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say a couple of guys been pinging me to. Hold on, someone's trying to call me. Can you hear me?
Don't
They're
they
picking
know
you
where
right now,
you're
aren't they?
at?
Put him on the
Come
air.
on.
It was Tim Blank.
Tim
Tim
be
Blank,
calling
right?
David during his call into
Come
the show. Come
on.
on, man.
He's on the show.
Yeah. And a couple of guys are pinging me. Maybe next weekend we can all get together here in Illinois and go detecting if it's going to be above freezing. So
Excellent.
it's real windy and cold, but it has been above freezing for about 5 days now. So I think the ground's thawed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Talk
Sweet.
about being
So you're gonna be
jealous.
Hey, you know what I wanted to ask you? You have some experience with it, and I know you're getting ready to go again with Tim, but tell us about rules and regulations detecting in Germany.
Yeah.
I know you told me about it before
I
when
am
we
so
went to
intrigued
English
by
last
that.
time, but yeah. What's the deal?
So the deal is that Germany has 16 states, and each state has its own rules. Now, Tim says wrong number. Yeah, he was trying to call a 1-800 number. I know.
He's in right now. Tim, welcome to the show. You're on with David, Tony, myself, and Jeff.
Yeah.
Hello.
Well, thanks for having me. Sorry, I had
problem.
that was the wrong number there,
Let's
Dave.
talk about Germany.
Yeah, that's okay. In Germany, there have been a few recent court cases in different states because there's been a lot of detectorists are on Facebook now and they're on YouTube, and so there's certain archaeologists that are getting wind of it, and so they've been trying to seize the finds of certain detectorists, and it's been going to court, and the detectorists have been winning because the way the laws are written right now, the state only has a vested interest in things that are of historical significant items. And, you know, it's hard to prove that a cannonball from the 1700s is a historically significant item, you know, those sorts of things. The only state that lets you pretty much keep anything you want is Bavaria. And
Really?
Bavaria says the landowner can ask for half the value, but you have no obligation in Bavaria to turn any of it over to the state. So that's why we tend to go to Bavaria metal detecting.
Right.
They know how to brew beer there, don't they?
They do, and I like the white beer. Now, I'll also tell you this, that the winds of change are coming. A lot of relic hunters are coming over from Romania, the Czech Republic, and they're basically going into Bavaria and they're just digging up stuff where they're not supposed to be. They're going onto monuments and archaeological sites, what they call red zones, and they're digging that stuff up and they're just selling it on the black market. And
Wow.
I think in the future there will probably be a law passed that either foreigners cannot metal detect in Germany, or you need very strict licensing, you know, that sort of thing. So I don't know when that would happen, but it wouldn't surprise me if I read about it or heard about it in the next couple of years.
Wow.
But right now, so the state that I lived in, of the 16 states, I lived in Rhineland Falls. And Rhineland Falls passed a law back in about 84 that said if you're going to go metal detecting, you got to have a permit. But they never developed the permit. If you go down to City Hall and you ask for a permit, they just look at you like you're a lunatic because they never made the form. There's no form. There's no permit to get, although the law is on the books.
Right.
So, you know, what are you going to do about that? But
Wow.
yeah, Bavaria is the place to go. All the landowners we've dealt with, they don't think we're going to find anything. You know, they always they say like, oh, you won't find anything, maybe some bullets from World War II, you can have it all. Or they'll say, well, if you find any gold, I want half. And we're like, sure, if we find any gold. Of course, I never found any gold, but there's always a chance you'd find gold, but I never did. And but it's sort of the same things you hear in America when you go door knocking. You won't find anything.
Right.
Okay, but if you find a gold bar, I want half.
Right.
You got it.
Yeah. So the German farmers are the same way. They say the same things. Of course, most of them don't even want to see what you found. They're go about their business, and we just dig up what we go and leave. So
Yeah.
that's the way it works.
We talked about having you guys on when you get back to talk about your trip and how it went. You guys able to say how far out you guys are from your trip, or do you want to kind of keep that confidential right now?
No, we're going. I'm going. I'm flying out on the 18th of April, and I'll be back the 1st of May. So I'm spending 3 days in England, north of London, and then from England flying to Germany for 8 days. We've rented a house in Germany, and it's gorgeous, and it's on the edge of a village, like a medieval village. And when you look at the map, there's 2 big wooded like hills just like a quarter mile from our house, and then there's a little thing about Celtic mounds on top of the hills. So that's a red zone. So you have to be 500 meters from a red zone. But all we got to do is find the trails up and down the hills that they would have traveled, and we'll just detect those trails. We don't have to go up to the top where the graves are. I mean, who would want to detect there anyway?
Right.
This probably been picked clean over the decades.
What do you think about that, Tim?
I think it sounds pretty exciting. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm actually on this trip. I'm going to take the wife over to England a little earlier. We're going to fly out the 14th.
Oh.
And we're going to spend a few days bouncing around England a little bit. And then my wife's going to fly home on the 21st day we fly over. I think we fly over the 21st over to Germany. So then I'll be in Germany
Amazing.
a day for a week of detecting. Yeah, I'm excited. I keep telling guys I'm nervous. I don't think it's nervous excitement just because I've never done it. I kind of felt the same way before my first trip to England too. I was just, it's never done it before, something new, foreign country.
Yeah.
I go with Dave. It's weird.
I got to make sure my wife doesn't listen to this podcast, because she told me she wanted to do the same thing when you and I go to England, Tony. She's like, well, I could come for a few days with you guys and then just fly back by myself. And I was like, well, honey,
probably not.
Might not want to do that, but we're going to be busy. We're going to be running. And so I won't let her hear that you and your wife are doing it.
Kids doing it.
You know what? One of my trips, one of our members in our barn, he flew over with his wife. We met her in London, and this was a 2-week trip. We were there for 14 days, and the entire time she just bounced around London by herself. While we
That's
were
cool.
up in Colchester. Yeah, I mean, she was absolutely 100% self-sufficient. I mean, and then we had a couple of rain days where the whole group, except for about 3 of us, decided they were going to stay back and go into Colchester and go to the museum and go out for lunch and stuff. Well, then she came from London and met them over in Colchester.
Cool.
So
That's cool.
It's possible, but yeah, do what you want.
Hey, Dave, what's Austria like?
I've never been to Austria, but I know a guy who detected, his American who detected down there, and there's a lot of stuff to find down there, but I've never been there.
Yeah, I got a friend named
like
Jeff
Sound of
that's over
Music.
there. Yeah. A friend named Jeff that's over there, like General Dighole, I think that's what he goes by on YouTube, and he's always inviting me over, and he's right. The village he lives in is this old Roman villa, and it's just amazing some of the stuff he's found, like old copper dinner plates and water vessels and all kinds of stuff. Just pretty amazing. Still in fairly good shape. Pretty trash, but when you think about where it came from, what was going on, it's pretty cool. Spearheads.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that'd be nice find, that's for sure.
Yeah. So you guys coming out in July to the Rush to the Rockies event? You guys gonna come out this way?
I'm not sure
Traveling
yet.
around the
I haven't made my plans that far out, to be honest.
I'll send you gas money for that jet. You grab Tim. You guys come on
Pick
out
him
this
up,
way.
fly on it. It's not that far.
It's more of a hang glider that I call the jet.
Oh, kind of hard to go against those prevailing winds.
Right.
Yeah, the westerlies keep knocking me back to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Hey, that reminds me, I wanted to tell you guys a story.
Okay.
A couple of weeks ago, my daughter and I, I live in Western Illinois, and a couple of weeks ago, my daughter and I had to drive down to Northwest Arkansas, and of course, we take 44, from St. Louis down to Joplin, and then we turn south on 71 and head south into Arkansas. But I've been driving 44, 12, 15 years, because I have family in Arkansas. And out in the middle of nowhere along 44 on the right-hand side, if you're heading towards Oklahoma, there was this, the towns are like 15 miles apart. So there's just a lot of prairie land with cows. And this one place we used to drive by all the time, about a quarter mile back from the highway, I could see a chimney stack, the ruins of a chimney stack, and what looked like an old log cabin. And every time I've driven by for, 15 years, I've thought, oh, well, you know what I've thought. Well, this time we're driving by, and there was a guy out there with a metal detector. And I said to my daughter, because I was trying to pay attention to the traffic, I said, well, what's that guy out there doing? She goes, he's got a metal detector. He's just like you, Dad. And I said, no, he's better than me because he's detecting the cabin site I've been drooling over for 15 years.
Wow.
I don't know if he found anything, but, this time of year, the grass is about 2 inches tall. So it was just perfect detecting stuff. And I didn't see his car or anything. He must have parked on the other side and then hiked in or something. I don't know. I assume he had permission, but.
We'll assume he's doing everything right and he had permission.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
I thought you.
And if he
you were
found
gonna
anything
tell him about-
significant, he reported it.
What's that, Tim?
Sure. I was telling Dave, I thought when he started that story, I thought he was going to tell everybody about his visit up here to Northern Illinois.
Oh, yes. I would like to tell that story. So,
I'd love to hear it.
Tim graciously invited me to come up a few weeks back. And as it turns out, he only lives about 12 or 14 miles from where my daughter is attending college. So I was able to see her that weekend and then go metal detecting with him. And we had Jeff came down from Wisconsin and Don came from Chicago. So we all met, and Tim took us on some of his permissions, where these farm sites were in the 1800s. And there's nothing there now. And we were finding a few old coins, but you know how it is. You can hunt a corner of the field all day and not find anything. And then you think there's nothing there, and you come back the next day and there's targets everywhere. And you're like, how did we miss these? But
magic.
We were at the bottom of this knoll. We were down by the road where there were two house sites from the 1800s. And I think we popped a couple wheat pennies and just nitnoid stuff, nothing exciting. And Tim kept saying, hey, up the hill, if you go up the hill, there was an even older house site up there, but the corn was still, hadn't been harvested yet. Well, while we're detecting, the harvester shows up and starts cutting the corn. But it's probably 120 acres of corn. And of course, a house site is not a very big site. So the guy starts cutting the corn, and we're detecting, and we're waiting an hour, 2 hours. And the last place he cut the corn, the very last sweep of the combine, was where the house site was. So we went up there. We go up there, and we start hitting buttons. And I found a shield nickel. And it is the nicest shield nickel I've ever found. The guy must not use fertilizers. I mean, you can read the date even. It's, how tiny the date is on a shield nickel. And so I found like 4 or 5 flat buttons. These guys found some buttons. So I go back to my So I go back to my hotel room that night because we're going to meet up the next day to go detecting again. And I washed all my stuff in the sink at the hotel, and your flat buttons, you wash them off and you put them shank up. I put them on a washcloth so they would dry.
Mm-hmm.
And the next morning I get up and I go to the bathroom and I see the buttons are all nice and dry, and I thought, I'll check the back marks. And I pick up one, and it's got like, treble gilt, you know how those back marks are.
Yep.
Then I pick up another one and I see Jackson. And I thought, must be Jackson's. And I look, and then I see 1829. And then it says Andrew Jackson, President, 1829. So I'm freaking out. I'm calling Tim. I said, Tim, because I already Googled it. I found the damn button. It's inauguration button. And it's a flat button. The front is plain, but it would have had like cloth wrapped around it, maybe with an image on it or something like that. But the cloth, of course, is long gone. But the back clearly says Andrew Jackson, President, 1829, had a nice shank, a little bit bent over. So I'm all excited about it. I'm looking it up online. I'm calling him. And so we go out the next day. We don't find much. But then I'll let Tim pick up the story from there.
Yeah. So, lo and behold, Dave finds this button. I've heard of these buttons before. Never in a million years that I think we would find one here in Northern Illinois. Especially on a site that, that I've got permission for. So Dave finds this button. I don't know. I think it's the following week. It's actually Thanksgiving morning. And we had company come over, and they actually called and let us know they weren't going to be over until later in the afternoon. So I opened up some time in the morning for me. So I said, I'm going to run back out to that farm. Maybe there's another one of those buttons laying out there. You never know.
Yep.
And so I made the long walk across the field up to the top of the hill where that home site was at. And I knew roughly where Dave had found it. I didn't, if he showed me later, he goes, here's a couple of buttons I had found. So I knew about where he had been at in the field. And so I kind of concentrated over in that area, and I got a large scent. I was like, right on, nice. And then the second target was a flat button. I was like, no way. Could it be? I flipped it over and rubbing. And I couldn't, for whatever reason, this dirt would just not come off the back. So I'm grabbing it like a little corn stalk, and I'm trying to do the toothpick thing, scrape off the dirt in the back. And the first thing that pops out was 1829.
No.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, it is.
Wow.
It's another one.
Let me ask you real quick. I did a quick search on it. Does it have kind of like a diamond on the back, and it says Andrew Jackson, March 4th, 1829?
No, that's a different one.
Okay. That's a different one.
Yep.
Man.
Yeah. This one just has the back mark script in a circle.
In a circle. Okay, yeah, I found it. I found that one too.
Yeah, so it'll say Andrew Jackson across the top, and then across the bottom it'll say President 1829. I think there might be a diamond in between the date and him or something like that. But yeah, that was a fun weekend, wasn't it, Dave?
That would blow me away.
It was, man. I made a little display because I found. The thing is, I'm really starting to appreciate what they call the Jacksonian era buttons. They're those very ornate civilian buttons with the gold gilt and lots of flowers and designs on them. So we're talking 1830s, 1840s. And I actually found a couple of those. And then when I cleaned them in CLR, the gilt started popping. And so it was pretty cool. And I put them online on that on Facebook group for button identification. And everyone came back and said they're 1830s. So we thought the cabin site dated to about 1837 because that's when the land was originally sold, and so people probably would have had cabins or starter homes, And then there was probably a house there all through, and I think Tim said by 1891 it was no longer on the map or something like that. And of course, back then, buttons were used over and over again. I mean, when a shirt wore out, they salvaged those buttons and redid them. But it's very believable that somebody back east had been to the inauguration and got the buttons as a souvenir. and then moved out what would have been out west, which was Illinois, because that was the western frontier.
Yeah.
And eventually lost those buttons. But if there's two, there's probably more up there. But
Yeah.
I think I saw when I Googled it, I saw one that had sold. And of course, I think mine's in better condition naturally. I saw one that sold in 2018 for $180. So, and it was Doug. It was a Doug butt.
Wow.
So I'm very happy. That was a great spot, and it was really nice of Tim to share those spots. He hadn't even detected them yet, and he shared them with us. That's
That's
what
amazing.
it's all about.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, I've been trying.
Good job, Tim.
I've been trying to get that permission. I've just been trying to get that permission for over a year and a half, and it just everything just kind of worked out. I got the permission that spring, but they had just put the crops in, so I had to wait all summer. And then, as Dave was saying, the crops were just coming out. There's one of the house sites. It was recently knocked down, so I was able to detect some of the grassy areas. But I never got a chance to actually hit the field sites, which were actually the good ones, the old ones. And then about the time the crops came out and I had enough time off of work, Dave called and asked what I was doing that weekend. I told him, I'm going to go out and get permission. I've been chomping at the bit to get on this weekend. Just come on up. And that's what he did. And then everything just kind of worked out.
Beautiful.
It worked out.
Yeah.
really good.
Love stories like that, man. Love it. Tim,
That's
Jeff,
awesome.
have you ever found any kind of presidential button or inaugural button or GW button in your career?
Me?
Jeff, yeah.
No.
Well, you traveled, man. You've traveled a good amount.
My
Back
best button
east.
is a Rhode Island button that I found here in Colorado.
A military button?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got some flat buttons when we went out when I did dig stock last year, but nothing with a fancy back mark like that. Like they were saying, the treble gilt kind of a button, back marks and
That's amazing.
other simple back marks, but nothing quite like that.
I don't remember, Ken, if you remember when I found this. I just pulled something out of my my display case here. It is it's an elephant, but it's like a lapel pin, and stamped on it says Harding, Harding. I mean, it's not obviously Andrew Jackson or
Right.
GW, but this was
yeah.
the best that I could do in terms of presidential. And I've only seen one of them online that's sold on eBay, but I've never seen any information about it or anything like that.
We're thinking it's sort of a, he was running, it was a lapel pin, elephant with Harding on it, made out of lead, right?
Yeah.
Yep. And probably just,
lead.
campaign promotion pin, probably 1920, right? He ran 1920. And this school was from the 1800s, late 1800s, this school. So you got to wonder, what was he campaigning there and handing those out? Or was it just some guy that was a big supporter of his going to some school function there or some gathering? They use those schools for all kinds of gatherings in the past.
Right. They were the center of activity.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it was a cool find, man. That was really a cool find. But great story, man. I love that story. What a great find.
Well, we both have submitted
Harding.
pictures. Yeah, we both submitted pictures to the Just Doug of American Digger magazine. So we're hoping that they get published side by side.
Yeah, well, that'd be cool, huh?
Yeah.
Did you leave Butch a note about that? Like, hey, put these side by side wherever it's at. That'd be cool. Definitely.
Yeah. We might email them about it. We're not sure yet.
Hey, this open
Dave
mic's
might
really
already be
taking
in
off.
print.
We got another caller in. Copper Joe.
Woo!
Copper, you're on there. How you doing, buddy?
What's up, Joe?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. This is a party chat now.
You guys staying warm down there? Because I'm
Starting to
trying
warm
to stay
up.
warm up here.
Starting to
Yeah,
warm
we
up.
got 40s.
Yeah.
But I think the ground's frozen, so I can't go out yet. So
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
my,
Like we're in
I'm looking at my
same boat.
detectors in the room, though.
Yeah.
That's close
Hey,
enough.
We'll let go of Tim and Dave. Thank you guys for calling in, telling us that story. That's awesome.
Yeah, great story,
We'll give
guys.
Joe a second and then get on some other
Good night,
stuff. You guys
everybody.
have a good night. We'll see
Thanks,
you after you get
Tim.
back from Germany. We'll have you guys on.
Good
for
luck,
sure.
guys.
Yeah. Be safe.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Tune up that jet, David. Copper Joe, how are you, man? What's up? Did you hear our announcement earlier?
No, I don't know. What? like I said, I just kind of waiting now. I guess I got to wait till April. I don't know. The ground's still a little frozen up here, so.
Well, if you want to
But
wait
I'm
till
doing
July,
okay.
you
Hey.
can come out here to the Rush to the Rockies Stampede.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask because I kind of missed the beginning of your show. So, what is the dates for?
What's the dates,
What is
Jeff?
the date?
July 7th through the 9th.
Oh, you guys.
So Friday, Saturday,
Yeah.
Sunday. Yeah.
We-
Hang out at
Perfect
home
timing
for that 4th of
for ya.
July. Swing on out.
That's it. Come on out.
Yeah.
Or come
So,
on out for
I
the full week beforehand and hang out, watch the fireworks here.
Yeah. We got some great.
Actually, yeah. Anyway, I took vacation the end of June and first week in July, but I didn't
Did
know
you?
when.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha. Yeah. We just got the dates. When was it?
Last
On the
night.
8th. Yeah, last night, as a matter of fact.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Yeah. We had to kind of put in. It's one of those things where you sign up online and you try to get the dates you wanted. And I guess we were trying to get the end of June.
We were trying to get the end of June.
And then they couldn't get it, so they went to the next set, which was the second weekend in July. So that's we ended up getting. Sorry, man. Shoot. See if we can get your vacation turned around. We'd love to see you out.
I would like to,
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't know. I've just been kind of hanging it out, trying to do a little research here. But yeah, I don't know. Just kind of Wisconsin winter for you, I guess.
You got any new permissions to go to this year?
Yeah, actually I do. I have one in a neighboring town. It's a co-worker that I work with, and actually he said, you do a lot of metal detecting and stuff. He says that, and he lost a couple things in his field that he kind of wants me to find. But he says, kind of enticing is that there was 12 homesteads around that field, so good chance for finding stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah,
that.
I'm looking forward to that. And he lost his hooks from some farm equipment, but he says we can find them. I certainly would want them back,
Yeah.
So we'll see, but it sounds real promising. And then, of course, the town I live in, I've got a permission right out of town, which is kind of interesting because found a couple old buckles and horse tack there, but I think I'm going to just hit that again pretty hard around where the house was now and see what happens over there. So I actually was in there last of November. That was the last time I was able to dig.
Oh, yeah. We were
Sounds
just
familiar.
Talking, Jeff, yep. Jeff was just saying the same thing. He was like, man, November, about the last time we've been out. But we've had 40-degree weather pretty much all week. It's supposed to be in the 50s, guys, on Saturday. Can you believe that?
Okay.
Yeah. Do you guys have do you have a lot of frost in the ground though? Does it go down pretty deep or no? Yeah. So
Yeah, we back in December and January, we had a few days where the high temperature was 0. So plus we had moisture in the ground at that point in time. So it is concrete out there. At least it was, and maybe it's thawed out by now. So
I went out last weekend and tried to put a screwdriver in, and I thought, well, I'm just going to try my shovel, and it was like
it's going to be
ding.
patchy though. Yeah. That's what we have now. It's that stuff where it's patchy, where you get one patch that's hard as a rock, and then the next one you're like, wow, it's like butter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course,
how
when
I
you get
kinda
good
test in
signals,
the spring.
is where where you get the signals, it's hard as a rock.
Of course it is.
It's always it.
It's science.
Oh man. Well, let's hear. Here's to warmer weather there, Joe. And
well, it's coming. It's coming. We got 40s all next week, but that might change up here. We don't know yet. It's a little early yet.
Good
I always say you can never. You don't know what March and April is going to be like. But hopefully we have an early spring. That'd be nice.
Yeah. We can warm up, but we still get a fair amount of snow. Like March is some of our snowiest months. Tony and I are going to be in England for 2 weeks of it. Get out of here. Sorry.
Yep. No digging in that snow.
Is we only probably got maybe a foot of snow on the ground, so we don't have a lot of snow. So when it does melt, it's just going to go fast,
It's all different up there, huh?
Yeah.
All relative, baby. All relative.
It is relative, exactly.
Well, what I say up here, it's not cold up here, it's just chilly. That's the way we describe it.
Yeah.
It's just chilly in Wisconsin. It ain't
chilly.
cold, yeah. But
well, hey, you're welcome to hang on the line here, Joe. I got a story to tell.
Okay.
Welcome to hang on. It It was
about a man
news.
named Jed.
It was. Poor mountaineer. Boy, I tell you what, his family was starving. But then one day,
No.
yeah, no, there was a, I'm always a fan of kind of real old treasures that are being found all across the world, and I see these news reports all the time, and this one kind of came out. I mean, put it this way: when my wife comes to me and she goes, "Hey, did you see that pendant?"
Yeah.
I go, "Wow, this has made its rounds." She knew exactly what I was talking about. I knew exactly what she was talking about. But real quick, if you guys hadn't seen the news story, I think Tony's got a link he's going to put in the chat room. But real quick story here. In 1520, right, the rulers of France and England, they were declaring their friendship. They were trying to back each other, and also they were trying to win each other over with like their display of wealth. And they had this thing called the 18-day festival called the Field of Cloth and Gold. And it was like a summit between France and England with the two leaders, King Francis and King Henry VIII. There was feasts and jousts and wrestling matches and all kinds of entertainment going on. And they didn't spare, either one of them didn't spare any expense. The reports are that it cost the equivalent of $19 million for the 18-day event.
Jeez.
So they spent some money.
Quite
right?
a party. Yeah.
Yeah, quite a party.
Right?
And there was a rivalry between each one of them, and I don't think each one of them came away with that, with what they wanted to. But they said that was in 1520, and there's not too many remnants of that are still around today. Very rare do finds, related to that ever come up. And I'll tell you what, man, in 2019, a 34-year-old cafe owner named Charlie Clark, who had recently taken up metal detecting as a hobby. Gotta love it, right? It's always the beginners.
Always.
Yeah, it's always.
He discovered this gold pendant and a chain in a field in Warwickshire. And it was a heart-shaped pendant, and it was emblazoned with intertwined initials H and K, as well as red and white Tudor rose and a pomegranate bush. Okay, this imagery is associated with Henry VIII and his first wife, Catherine of Aragon. And both sides bore the inscriptions toujours, which is a play on the French word for always. Okay, so here you have Henry VIII and his wife Catherine Aragon's, basically their initials on it, and the word always. And he said when he first discovered it, he screamed like a little girl, and he was just absolutely flipping out. Being a brand new detectorist, can you imagine like finding something? First of all, it's gold in the hole, right? You would just start freaking out. But curators of the British Museum, they kind of first they thought it was fake. Okay, so they were first like, it's fake. You don't ever find these things at all, and they thought it was too good to be true, right? But after careful analysis, they dispelled any doubts about it, that it's absolutely authentic. And after they dated it and did all kinds of their studies on it, they said it dates between 1509, when Henry and Catherine first married, and 1533, when their marriage was annulled. And it suggests a date around 1521 is what they're saying. And they said it probably was commissioned work by Henry, celebrating his marriage, but they would give it out as prizes for like joust prizes for winning a joust, or some kind of trophy for if you won the wrestling match or something. And it comes right from there, right from that field of cloth and gold. May have even served a prize won in like a worn, or a token that was worn by an attendee. But it was this disgusting display of wealth that they would just do so that King Francis of France would be like,
they were flaunting.
yeah, I've got to do something, one up him here and this and that. They said they found no evidence that it personally belonged to either Henry or Catherine. But the quality is such a high quality, it had to be a member of the higher nobility, or maybe a high-ranking courtier, one of the courtesans. But man, can you imagine? I mean, to come across something like that, and that's why when you get the opportunity to go to a place like England, that kind of stuff can happen. It doesn't happen often, but it can happen.
Right.
Man, that's amazing.
Yeah, and if you follow that link, there's a picture.
Yeah, I put the link in the live chat. If you guys follow, I mean,
is insane.
I'm just in sheer awe of this piece.
You see the picture of it all cleaned up?
Mm-hmm.
Like the chain is. How would you describe that chain? It's a super tight. Coiled.
And I can't remember how many links.
It was like super tight,
78 or something like that, gold linked.
Yeah.
For the chain.
I mean, this looks like something like the bishop would wear, or some cardinal of the time, or the pope, or something. It's incredible. Super gaudy. Like Snoop Dogg would love to wear this thing around his neck.
He might even look at that and go, "That's a little bit much, man.
It's too gaudy for me, right?" Oh my gosh,
too gaudy.
It's just amazing.
Yeah, in that link, there's a picture about halfway down in the article where it's a side by side of the pendant, the face of it, and then it's opened. If you just look at that, it's the most incredible just necklace or whatever. I know.
Speechless, literally speechless.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And for Jeff to say that, I mean, Jeff sees his share of some amazing things. And for him to say that he thinks it's just speechless, amazing, that tells you a lot, man, because Jeff has seen some stuff in front of him. A lot of stuff.
I gotta play with some stuff.
You do get to play with some stuff for sure.
So,
man,
more than most, I will say.
So that's it, Joe. You've got to find one of those this year. You gotta find.
Step it up, Joe.
Yeah.
The old hammered gold.
If I find that in Wisconsin, there's something wrong. There's something wrong.
They're on every corner up there.
Either Henry VIII was up here, or maybe it was Disney. I don't know.
I think he's going through a tunnel.
Yeah, you're going through a tunnel.
Losing.
Breaking up on us, Joe.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry.
No, there you are.
Now you sound good. You're on the other side of the tunnel.
Yeah, probably.
Short tunnel.
Hey, did you guys ever? This is just a question for you guys. Did you guys ever have a day when it was just like you just found everything? Did you ever have that where you just,
Where you found what? You broke up a little bit.
You're just finding everything. You just find a day. You have a day when you're just everything seems to be coming on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ken and I have had a couple of those at a pretty incredible site that we hammered pretty hard, and it just
got to go back
insane.
to new machines.
Yeah, absolutely, we do. Yeah, but I mean, that day, I know that one day. I can think of that one day where it was just like we were trying to videotape it because we were making YouTube videos. And we really couldn't because it would just be like I was feeling like, I just found this button and I'm this eagle button and I'm looking at the back mark and I'm filming myself pulling it out of the hole, and then in the background I got Beth screaming, I got another eagle button, and I got Tony yelling, I got a thimble or something. Like it was just crazy. Like I was like, man, and even you were filming and then I was yelling and you're like, man, listen to this. Things are starting to pop, and
it was.
You don't get many of those days, but it's sure fun.
Few and far between. But man, when they do happen,
you're like in the zone, the zone,
yeah.
And
well,
I experienced that one day. I was with a guy, a digging partner that I go with, and it was really hot, and we went to this one of the sites I go to, and it was like 90 degrees, So I found a fatty copper spear point, and we left because it was so hot, Well, I went back, and that was Memorial Day weekend, but I went back on that Monday, Memorial Day, and I was by myself, and it was just like I was in the zone. It was like I found a copper spear, found a copper awl, found a copper, and it was just like boom, 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 right in a row. It was like I couldn't believe it, like 4 pieces in a half hour,
Jeez.
Oh,
like I never experienced that. I never experienced that before in my life. I was like,
amazing.
Like, what? And the guy just freshly plowed it, and that's probably the reason why.
Yeah.
But wow, it was just amazing.
Love those Grand Slam days like that. Like, man, Jeff, I don't know if you consider it one, but you found some found some epaulets one time.
Yeah.
I don't know if that day was one of those days for you, but
it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
you're pulling all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, that day we found I don't know, was it 27 epaulets, a couple box plates, a few infantry insignias, company letters and regimental numbers.
Oh man!
Bottle. I mean, it was just insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. yeah, you cherish some days, you know, when that happens because boy, it's like wow, you know.
Okay, you guys just need to be quiet, man. I'm itching even
I know.
harder now.
It's getting
you
worse
have brought
now.
that up, Joe. Now it's getting worse,
I know,
man. Oh man. No, I'm really itching out. I got to get out there to have one of those days again for sure. But that's amazing, man. You start finding a bunch of copper pieces like that.
Oh yeah, and right in a row, you know, it was just like, you know, how can they get better, you know? And it wasn't like you're just finding stuff in between. It was like, boom, you know, boom, boom. It was like 4 right in a row. It's like, that's amazing. I've never done that ever. Found 4 in the morning like that. Just amazing.
Yeah.
But isn't it strange, Joe, how you can go for a certain period of time and it's just quiet or it's nothing. And then it literally is a switch.
A switch.
And then all of a sudden, everything all at one time. And, you know, you're getting ready to leave. You're like, oh, there's nothing here. I'll give it another 30 minutes and I'm out of here. And then all of a sudden, it just opens up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love it.
I experienced that. Yeah. And then that one day I was walking back to my truck. I was in the same field, but on a different side. I'm walking back to my truck. Well, I ain't finding much, you know. And I'm walking back to my truck, and I get this signal that's really nice, high tone. Dig it up, and here it's 1901 barber dime. I mean, right in the middle of the field, you know. Who would ever thought?
Right by the truck.
You know, right by the truck. And I'm going out. I'm like, what? This is nice. So it's like,
when I went to England before, we had one of those things where we were out scouring. You know, everyone kind of split up a little bit. There was a big group that kind of hung out in this one field. And me and Kevin I was digging with, we went out kind of in this other field, and the walkie-talkie started blowing up, and people started finding hammers and stuff. So we started making our way back towards them, and it was just like, man, they picked the right field, because all of a sudden it was like, you know, and I don't know if you guys ever been out charter fishing, like out in the ocean, but it's like that too.
Yes.
You know, like the whole boat starts hooking up at the one time. I mean, that's what it was like. It was like everyone was fighting over the key on the walkie-talkie to try to say what cool item they just found. And Kevin and I were looking at each other like we hadn't found anything in like half an hour. You know, we're like, oh man, let's start heading over there. We're in the wrong field again. But yeah,
it's funny how that happens too. That some people seem to, I don't know, gravitate towards some of the stuff. And, you know, there's other times where you go out there and orbit around and you don't find anything, but then all of a sudden, you know, your buddy, if they're a good buddy, they'll holler out to you or holler on the radio saying, hey, I got some stuff.
Yeah.
Come on over.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's fun, man. Can't wait to get back out again.
I know.
Yeah.
You guys are going to be arrested by the time you get to England.
Right. We're going to be, well, we got to start
put on your
exercising,
machine.
man, because that'll wear you out there. We're going to have to definitely start doing our exercises for sure.
Yeah.
We need to get in digging shape again.
How long is your flight to England? How long is
9 hours?
9 hours.
Yeah. Our way back
9
sucks. Our way back. We have a 16-hour trip back. Because we weren't able to get a direct flight because we waited too long.
Man.
So we've got a layover, and it's going to take us 16 hours to get home.
Yeah.
Not looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's a long trip.
Yeah.
Can catch a nap then.
Yeah, the
a
9
lot of
hours is
sleeping.
not bad because we leave like
It's
midday
overnight,
here, and it starts getting dark. We get sleepy. We just go to sleep. Wake up in the morning, you know, and we're there. But the jet lag gets you real bad. That first day in England will be rough. But
Yeah.
I followed some advice from some people last time, and it really worked out. And I'm thinking they're 100% right. You just got to stay awake and push through when you feel like going to sleep, and just stay awake until that next night comes when you get there. And because it's going to feel like by noon, it's going to feel like middle of the night for you. And you got to just stay up, push through it, and exercise. You got to walk. You got to walk.
You got to be on the move. Absolutely.
On the move.
Mhm.
And then you go get a good night's sleep that night. And the next day, you'll be ready to go. No problems at all. And you'll have the best night's sleep.
So I suppose that's a big hour change. That's a big hour change from Colorado to England. That's quite a, you know.
Yeah. It's
a
like
big,
7 hours,
big change.
7-hour differential. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So,
Looking forward to it, though.
yeah.
Good trip.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for calling
Hey,
in,
it was
Joe.
good talking to you guys.
Yeah, man.
Thanks,
Nice
Joe.
talking to you, Joe.
If I can get out there, I wanted to go. I mean, I scheduled it for the end of June, but
Oh,
we'll
sorry
see.
about that.
Maybe I can arrange
You
things
can play
around
hooky.
and-
You can
Yeah.
play hooky. Come on out.
Yeah.
Who do I need to call?
Okay.
You just tell me who I need to call. I'll get
We'll
on
take
the
care
phone.
of it.
Okay, call Nestle Foods. No.
I'll get hold of Nestle. I'll be like, hey man, I've been
You call
using your
Nestle
products.
Foods
I've been
and
using
me.
your products for 55 years, my friend. You got to let
You gotta
old
give-
Copper Joe come out to play with us in Colorado.
Yeah, because it's I forget what it's I think it's 16 hours for me out there, so
Oh my goodness,
quite a drive.
That's a drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'll do it in a day and a half if I go out there.
Yeah, it's nice.
I split it up. I'm used to going to Wyoming, so ain't too much further than that.
Yeah,
You
close
were
to
just
there.
out there not too long ago. Up that way.
Yeah,
You were
2
telling
years
me.
ago, because my wife's uncle lived in Douglas, so and then
Yeah.
we were then I was over in what's the house town? Fort Collins. I was in Fort Collins.
Yeah.
That's where I work. Yeah, work right
Yeah.
there. So
I couldn't get a hotel in Fort Collins because of the college game, so then I had to go. I had to go to Fort Morgan.
yeah,
That's quite a haul from
that is.
From Fort Collins.
the Fort
Yeah.
Morgan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's where
40
I
minutes.
yeah, but that's how far
Duck
we
hunt.
had to go out because the college game was going on, football game.
Right. Yep.
Couldn't find anything. I was like,
Yeah.
So, but anyway, all right. Well, we'll talk to you guys later.
All right.
All
Have a
right.
good
Joe.
Take
weekend.
care, man.
Catch you later.
Yeah, thank you. Take it
Yep.
easy.
Jeff, what are you swinging these days? Like you've picked up some additional machines too, haven't you? Did you get the 2 yet? Did you get the Deus 2 yet?
Yeah, I have the Deus 2. I have the Deus Equinox 800, and now the Manticore is my other one that I'm trying to figure out.
Gotcha.
What are you
What are you thinking
thinking
so
about?
far? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I've only air tested the Manticore. The Deus 2, I went and actually purchased the 9-inch coil for it as well. I bought it with the 11-inch, and it took me a few months to get the 9-inch. And I'm really digging that 9-inch coil, man. It really actually changes the balance of the machine quite a bit, and I'm really liking the depth out of that 9-inch coil. I mean, that ring that I was showing you guys at the Christmas party for Eureka.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember that little ring that had that little stone in it? That
Right.
came from like 8 inches deep. The 9-inch coil, and it's a little 9-carat ring. So I was really impressed with that.
Wow. Yeah, I've been looking at the new coils from Nocta for that Legend. I'm thinking about getting that LG24, kind of a long and narrow coil. I was thinking about getting the big one for England, but it's already got 11-inch coil, and that's pretty good already.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather go smaller because I was watching some videos on the separation ability of that coil. Oh my gosh, man. That thing, it performing really well on the Legend on at least some video air tests and nail tests and, covering tests and separation tests, man. It's just pretty impressive. And even though you don't have a lot of iron, even though out in Colchester, they don't put you on a lot of iron patches, usually, still, man, finding those small hammered coins or the small Celtic gold, you want to be able to pick those apart. But then again, you're in a field, so you want the large coverage.
Well, what you do is you have that little coil with you. It's in your backpack for the day. And your backpack might be halfway across the field, or it might be on your back. Make sure you have that coil with you, and cover the ground first. And when you start hitting that iron patch, slow down, and then when it gets thick, then you pull out the small coil.
Yeah.
I never travel without that spare coils.
They need to get on it and get the smaller coil for the Manticore then released out, because that's what I would like to pick up.
Have they said anything about that yet?
I haven't
when
heard
they're
a
going
word
to
about
put the little
it.
sniper coil out.
Someday.
It's in the works.
Oh, we're trying to get Debbie on the show. She's I talked to her a couple of days ago actually on email, and she said she would want to come on.
Yeah, I have not gotten her to return my email yet. I'm gonna have to. Next time I talk with her, I'm gonna have an issue.
Well, she replied to my email after about 2 months from when I sent her the email.
Oklahoma.
And she apologized. She's been busy. She's had some family stuff come up, and she's just been trying to get them buried and trying to get back to it. As a matter of fact, she asked for a couple of weeks to straighten some more stuff out before she can start looking at her dates to come on the show. But it'd be great to have her on. We'll definitely ask her about those coils, Tony. And
once again, she won't be giving out dates for that because they don't. But never hurts to ask.
Yeah. maybe she, tell her to wait long enough so that she can do a special announcement here on the show.
Oh.
How's that? We'll work that angle in. And of course, I need to talk to her about Rush to the Rockies too, if I get a chance to speak with her at all. But man, when's your next trip, Jeff? Is it?
It's going to be the Garrett. No, I'm actually probably going to do my next trip. Might be Garrett Hunt, or I might try and find something in the next few weeks to try and go somewhere to freaking go detecting, just because. Well, I'm itchy. I'm twitchy. Yeah. I'm literally starting to lose it.
Did I tell you about? Did I share with you the information about my family land in Kansas?
Yeah. I mean, we talked about it. Yeah.
Yeah, we got to go. We got to try and get out there this year. Maybe road trip it out there.
It'd be a heck of a nice long weekend thing.
Yeah, long weekend. Spend a few days out there hitting that, because I think it's like 8 acres, and still got the foundation in place. And I don't know what else is in the field, in the woods behind it, but I'd love to make it out there. It's only like what would we look, Tony, like 10 hours?
Mm-hmm.
I'd like for a few of us to go out there. I mean, I'd like a number of us to go out.
Well, you got to cover some ground. I mean,
yeah,
that's not a ton of ground, but if it's only for a weekend, that's a ton of ground.
Mm-hmm. It is. Mm-hmm. It is. So let's keep that in mind. We'll keep trying to find a spot that works for that.
That's in eastern Kansas, right?
It's kind of central, right?
Kind of
southeast,
central east.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of southeast of central, maybe. Yeah. Southeast of central.
Southeast of central. Got it. Yeah.
Yeah. Just right off the mark. Yeah. So we'll definitely set that up. What else you got going on, Tony? We had a lot of other stories to talk about, but we're running out of time. So.
Yeah, I know.
This was fun though. We had a lot of people call in, some good stories.
It's cool.
Yeah.
No, it's good to kind of just fly by the seat of our pants and just let it lead us where it needs to lead, and just talk. You know, just talk.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes that's good. I know that. Hey, Jeff, tell us about Relic Roundup. You guys did this just a little while back at an open mic. It's fun to do that every now and then, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's nice to have a guest on, but you know what? Every once in a while, you got to have your listeners come on and tell us what's going on, in their life, in their world, for their clubs, all that stuff. Right. Yep. Us three keep a pretty good eye on what's going on out there in the world. But not everyone does, so they have to listen to us to try and find out, some of the hunts that are coming up. But yeah, my show Relic Roundup, it's actually been going on since 2009.
That's
every
a
Monday
long
night.
time, man.
Yeah, and I've been doing it since 2010. So I've been doing that show a long time. But every Monday night, 7:00, right here on Spreaker, with American Digger Magazine, Butch Holcomb, and Loy. Loy is also one of the co-hosts as well. So,
yeah.
Right now, we're kind of running a series on people that write articles for the magazine. We dig in a little bit deeper on what the article is about. So a little bit behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
It's a good show.
It is a good show, man.
Love
it's
it.
one of the longest running podcasts on metal detecting and relic hunting, treasure hunting that you're going to find. It's ran by fine people. I'll tell you what, the people that are super connected to the community. Yeah, if you've never listened to it, I can't imagine anybody's never heard of it, but you should head on over there and check it out for sure.
Well,
you can
think about this.
You can search Relic Roundup anywhere on Google, any search engine, it'll take you right over there.
There's honestly over 150 years worth of metal detecting experience on that show.
Wow.
That's a thought.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sure you want to say that?
I know. That kind of put you out there.
As I was coming out, it's like, that's not the thing I want to say.
What am I doing? Maybe I shouldn't be saying it.
Let me take that back.
So funny. Man, I love it when you join us, man. You're always a good time to have on, too. Tony, so if you're listening to the show, if you listen to the Relics Radio show, you've heard Tony and I talk a little bit about, sometimes we're usually on video these days with each other. Video connection, you can't see it there on the podcast, but Tony, for a little while now, has been taking clips from the show, video clips from the show, and extracting them from the podcast and releasing them as little video clips over on his channel, 5280 Adventures, which you can find on YouTube. Tony, tell us about that.
Yeah, it's I think Saturdays we just release the entire episode. So you can kind of see behind the scenes as things are going on as we're speaking. And, it's kind of fun to just, you can still listen in, but you also watch. But then throughout the week, then I'm going to put out about 6 different clips. I call them Relic. I call it
Relic Radio clips.
Relic Radio clips. And just different snippets of different topics that are discussed, some ideas, some opinions, some debates even, and just throw them up there, usually 3 to 5 minutes long or something, and you can kind of just pop in and check it out.
Lesson.
Yeah. What's that, Jeff?
It's just a quick lesson. Just
it's
nothing.
It's just, I mean, it's rare that you're going to sit down and actually watch an entire podcast, an hour and a half. But if you've got 7 minutes and you're interested in, what was it last week from Merrill, his opinion of the best metal detector to find small silver coins.
Yeah. So something like that. Very specific. Right. Something somebody had opinion on. You might not agree with it, but you can see Tony and I talking to sometimes our guest is live on camera also, and sometimes they're not. Sometimes just a picture we put up there, but you can hear their voice. And tonight, while we were having the show, we said it before, Tony and I communicate on a Google Doc sheet. And as our guest came on that we weren't even expecting, David Rose and Tim Ildigger to come on. I thought I sent him a message. I go, Tony, this would be a great Relics Radio clip. Yeah, about what it's like to dig in Germany. What are the rules about digging in Germany?
Absolutely.
And he put that out there, and
that'll be there, guaranteed on that one.
So definitely pull that one out and stuff. So yeah, if you want to see some of those clips, head on over to 5280 Adventures. I think if you put that in any search engine, it'll take you over to his YouTube channel. Links are right down below in the podcast too. You can find it over there. Head on over there and check it out. Jeff, tell us about your History Seekers deal.
Well, I tell you what, I'm working with Heath. We're selling detectors through the History Seekers. Heath used to, he and I used to work for someone else, but now that ended up getting sold. So Heath went on his own. So yeah, we're still doing the same deals that we were doing before. Best prices out there online, and some great service. You know what? If you need to upgrade your detector, or maybe just need a new coil or whatever, I'm one of those guys that will never. I've actually talked people out of buying detectors from me because what they wanted to do, they could do it with their machine that they already had. They just needed a different coil. I've actually talked them out of buying a machine and just sold them a coil. They were happy. I make, in that case, I made like $15 instead of $100 or whatever. $50, yeah,
right.
more.
Right.
I could have sold them a machine and they would have been happy, but they didn't need it. So you know what? My thought is, I'd rather have you happy, and maybe next time you'll come back and buy a machine from me. So
did you put it out there how people can get a hold of you?
You can give me a call at 303-618-5179. I'll be happy to talk with you. Like I said, I'm not going to sell you anything. I've actually said talk people out of buying this stuff. So
yeah. Yeah, you're good at that. You don't want to just sell them to sell them. You'll exactly what they're looking for, what they want to get into. I know you're on a Colorado Facebook group too, and you're always giving great advice out there for people that are beginning and stuff. So, yeah, Jeff's a good guy. You want to give him a call, he'll take care of you for sure. Links right down below, and his phone number's right down below. If you want to get a hold, let's say you forget what the number is listening to the podcast, you can always just click right below in the description of this podcast and see all the links to Tony, myself, and Jeff's phone number down there to get a hold of him as a sales associate. And did you happen to see one final comment before we get out of here? Do you see Ohio Relic Hunter put the live link for watching us on the podcast during the podcast?
I was too scared to click that link.
Yeah, I was too, but I went ahead and did it. I guess it's a live shot of some tamarin monkeys. It's the tamarin monkey cam in Utica, New York. Yeah, great. Thanks, Bill. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
I clicked on it. I did. I clicked on it.
It always gets me. It always gets my bad side, though. It always gets my backside. That's my worst side, I tell you.
I've seen your face.
That's true. Woo, ba-dum-bum. Oh, boy. I guess that's a good cue to get off the air and end this thing. Guys, thanks for joining me tonight. It was a lot of fun. We appreciate you guys being with me for this open mic night. Good to see you, Mitch. Good to see you, Tim, Bill, all you guys joining us tonight in the chat. It was a great time. Thank you very much. Hey, if you're listening and you're out digging this weekend, have a good time. Go get the good stuff and think of us because we're cold. Okay. We'll catch you later. Have a good night. We'll see you next week.